I can't complain about having too much on my plate when I used to beg just to eat,
Right.
you know?
Oh, that's a good one.
So that's something that if we don't change, nothing's gonna change, you know? Like if we stay the same, we're just gonna have the same year over and over and over again.
Right.
And I realized that on a job too, that we had got door to door. And then the following year we did them again, literally on the same day. And I'm sitting there cleaning the window and I'm like, I'm living the same year again. You know, like, am I just gonna be here on this day every single day for the rest of my life?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You know, like this year feels like a whole new year. I'm becoming obsessed with this process. Like the work that you and I and everyone's put in, it pays off because you're gonna get what's for you.
Today's guest is a special one. This is actually my very first client, Cade and Tim with TD Power Clean. So, Cade, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
The setup, everything.
My TD Power
Yeah,
Clean.
rep it.
So what's business like lately?
It's been unreal, honestly. I mean, completely different than years past, to be honest. Just kind of figuring things out. I mean, to go in backwards, I mean, we were a door-to-door company, and it's just the two of us, Tim and I, my future brother-in-law. I mean, every day we didn't know what we had tomorrow most days, and we just went out and got it every single day. So it's like we're not going home until we make this amount of money, you know? So It's like we just out there grinding every day, and now it's like, gosh, I need to make sure I can get over to this house and get them a number, and then I got to do this and finish that. So it's been unreal, and I've just been loving it. I mean, I feel like this is where I thrive.
So what services are you focusing on right now?
Right now, we're doing a lot of window cleaning. We do interior and exterior, a lot of screen cleaning, and then a lot of house washes right now as well. So around this time, spring cleaning, a lot of people get their house washed. So I like that service probably one of the most. It's a pretty dramatic change. And it's your whole house, right? So it's not just like a particular part, like a window. You know, it's your biggest asset, your family home. So
Right, yeah. What's been the biggest win for the business so far in the last month?
Definitely just, I mean, obviously the Facebook marketing, working with you and trying new things. That was something that we had never even thought of before, and it's just exploded.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when you came out and filmed like last year, and I was just like, oh, you know, like doing my thing or whatever, and never thought anything of it. And then you put this clip together for the ad, and like, it was just like ring, 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 ring. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is working. And I'm telling Tim, I'm like, oh, 5 new leads just today, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, it's noon. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, this is awesome. So, I mean, that's been a big win, and we're working on some other, we have a potential commercial, I mean, I'd call it commercial. It's an apartment complex, townhome. It's about 36 units that we're trying to get into, and we're in talks with. So it's a big job, especially for just 2 guys. I mean, it's exciting. So.
Yeah. So ready to hire some people out.
Definitely. I mean,
build a team.
That's definitely our biggest goal next is trying to get some good help and some good workers, people that are like-minded with us and our motive. I mean, Tim and I we want it bad, like we're willing, and I feel like that's kind of where we've tripped on ourselves, you know, because we've wanted to make it work so bad, you know, for the 2 of us, where it's like now, like, you know, people would like to be on our team, you know, like knowing that we're good people to work with and good people to work for, and people can be excited about this kind of stuff because it's really satisfying, like to do this type of work.
Yeah.
And when I first started, I didn't even know it was a thing, you know, like who gets their windows cleaned?
Right.
And then I tried it, and I'm like, gosh, you know, this is pretty rewarding, like the difference it makes. So.
Yeah. So how did you first get involved with TD Power Clean?
Yeah, I met Tim actually, gosh, it's been about like 10 years ago. I was 11 years old when I met Tim.
Wow.
So he was living in Cedar Falls. My sister, she went to UNI. She graduated from there and met Tim, and they were like, we're not going to stay in Iowa. So I met him like 2 times, and then they moved out to North Carolina. And they completely moved out there like with no like plan, no job lined up or nothing. I mean, they both had degrees, which was cool, but they quickly realized like that does not matter.
Yeah.
Everyone was looking for experience. So I like to tell this story about Tim. It's I wish he was here to tell it, but they applied for every job he could. Like he was just applying. And Kayla was driving him to this interview at a company called Squeegee Pros out there, and it was a window cleaning position. And Tim's in a suit, and there's like 10 guys outside in like cargo shorts and cutoffs and like just, southern redneck kind of guys, and Tim's in a black tie suit with a jacket, and he's like, Kayla, do not pull in there. Like, I'm not doing it. Do not go in there. She's like, you have to. Like, you need a job. And so they had him train it, like they had him like carry a ladder around the building, like all these guys, and Tim's in a suit, and like they
I'm
offered
picturing
him,
like Step Brothers right now.
exactly like that. But it's just him, and he's just like so mad, like, gosh, I don't want to do this. I look like an idiot. But he ended up getting the job, and then like he learned how to do it and got really good at it. And Tim's a really passionate guy, and like whatever he's gonna do for work, I mean, he's gonna do it with his all. And that's where we kind of came together like-minded. I mean, as I matured and grew up, fast forward he did it out there for 5 years, and they wanted to move home. So he was like, I'm going to give it a run, try this by myself here. And he talked to me about it and was like, would you maybe want to try? And I was like, I mean, yeah, I'll try. I was 16 at the time, or 17. And I was working 2 jobs already at Fairway and the Big Steer where I met you.
Yeah.
And he was like, I mean, a summer thing, like, we can try it. So I gave it a go. We did my parents' house first, and I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I was, like, super slow, and we have all these videos of, like, our first, like, day. You know? And, I mean, these are, like, the same style shirts we had then, and he just taught me how to do it, taught me how to carry the ladder. I mean, taught me all the pressure washing tips and tricks, and was like, we'll learn as we go. And he got the van wrapped, and I mean, Tim took the biggest risk with this. Like, when you say you really put your all in it, like, he saved up his money, not knowing he was going to come back here, but he was making pretty good money out in North Carolina because they do big places, like NASCAR drivers, NFL players, and he had $10,000 to his name when he moved back, and he bought the van, he bought the ladders, he bought the power washer, and everything. I mean, completely cash it. Wrapped the van. So he was down to like his last $100, like, when it was all said and done. And we were just like, okay. I mean, we got the van wrapped. People are going to start calling. We have a website, like, and I didn't think about the back end of all that stuff because I'm like, summer job, whatever. Yeah. Like, I don't even know what I'm getting paid, but I'm just going to like do it with them. So, I mean, we did like friends and family at the beginning, but it was like, if we got somebody else that wasn't a friend or family, like heard about us, oh my gosh. It was like, we'd go do that job, get back in the van and just freak out. Like, how did we even just get that job? Like, oh my gosh, let's go home. Like, we wouldn't even, like, we had no idea where to go, from there. And me being so young, just like 17, not thinking anything about it, I really wasn't as motivated as I am now, and I mean, I still have a lot to learn, but as knowledgeable. I mean, I never would have thought, like, we would be doing this right now.
Yeah.
So
what were those next few stepping stones as you got, friends and family, now you got a few other customers?
Yeah.
What was next?
Then I just started like seeing videos of people like door knocking and like just kind of their pitch and how it was working out for them. And I was like, I mean, I'm a pretty social person. like I was pushing carts at Fairway. I mean, I talk to people every day.
Yeah, serving tables. Yeah.
Exactly, and serving, and I love that. I love meeting new people. So I was like, I mean, why wouldn't I give it a shot? Like it's something. And if it's going to get us out there, you never know who you're going to meet. And that's kind of like how I live my life. I mean, I try to put myself in situations, try new things, because you never know who you're going to meet. You run around that corner and bump into somebody, and next thing you know, like when I first met you, I never would have thought we'd be working together.
Yeah.
I mean, you were a welder back then, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So, it was like, we're going to try the door knocking thing. And I mean, we really did well with it. Like we had good answers. I mean, obviously we weren't like very good at, the script, if you will. It wasn't really a script. It was more of like a stutter. I can probably do it for this. Will you do it? I can do it right now, like just super excited. And everyone's like, gosh, I'm not going to take this kid serious. I'm just a high schooler.
Right.
But, I mean, it worked out. And then I was just like, I mean, this is cool. And my senior year is like I worked for him like April, May, and June. Like April, May on the weekends and stuff like that. And then June, obviously full time. But like, that's all we were doing was knocking doors. Like, it was like, we were zooming in on Google Maps and like, okay, this is where we're going to go today. And we'll just try it. If we get nothing, we'll drive over here to this neighborhood.
Yeah.
And we're just like, driving along in the van and looking around like, oh, look at that house. I'm going to run up there. And I just run up there and try it.
Yeah.
And we'd be like in Ankeny on the golf course, and I'd see the biggest house, and I'd be like, you know what? Like, let's just try it. We made a game out of it,
Yeah.
And as we got better, obviously more things started to work out. But, I mean, it was all word of mouth and door to door, which as we started, getting the ball rolling, with our software set up, it was sending review links to people. So people were writing reviews, and so like we had a backing on that, and I started to tighten up, that door-to-door line and getting people excited about it, bringing energy, and trying not to be too desperate,
Right.
Whereas before it was like, please, please, please. But yeah, it got it rolling. It was exciting for me. It was where I learned that I do really like sales, because I went to trade school out of high school. I started that July after my senior year, and I moved out of the house and I got my own place. And, I was like, I'm going to be an electrician and I'm going to make all this money, like they say, go to trade school, like you'll become rich and all this. and I really fell for it. I was like, yeah, sweet. So I joined a union company, and then like we'd be walking through the job sites and I'd be like looking at stuff, and I'm like, we could do this. Like we could upsell them on this. And my journeyman's like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, we're here to do what they tell us to do and leave.
That's it.
Get 8 and go, And I'm just like, yeah, I guess you're right. And I guess in my head, just because where I came from, like doing the door-to-door stuff, it's like, oh, if I just get that one more or I work a little longer here, I'll make more money. And I was like, maybe somebody will notice me, at this company, and, I'll move up the ranks like that. Well, then it was like, I mean, you get into the apprenticeship, it's 5 years of schooling, and, it's free, which is great. But then it's like you had to work for a union company 5 years after that to pay for your schooling, pay it back through dues and stuff like that. Otherwise, if you don't, you have to pay for it all out of pocket if you leave. And
trap you.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa, I did not know this was like, I mean, I didn't go to college or anything because of, the money and the commitment it is, how expensive it is for 4 years. And I was like, I'm not ready for this at 18, So I just kind of had like a real life experience, and my first, I don't know what I'm going to do, and it just didn't feel right.
Right.
Working that job, and I didn't see a clear end to the tunnel and a clear vision of how I was going to fit in and how things were going to go. And Tim was by himself during that time and just unmotivated, honestly, like, you know, because it's hard to get in the van and go out and knock doors by yourself, and then you get beat up all day and you don't have the guy next to you to be like, dude, I just got this door slammed in my face so hard, like, you know, like, make a joke out of it. You don't have no one to laugh with, and then it's like, oh wait, you know, I got rent I have to pay, you know, I got to feed my family, things like that. So I mean, he was definitely like, dude, I mean, we were doing really good, because that June right before I went, I mean, up in like time before that, up until then, it was nothing like it was right then and there. Like, we were doing very well, you know, compared to what we were doing then, you know, back when we first started. Right. So I decided to come back, and I have ever since. It's been 2 years now, because I did electrical for a year. I was like, I want to make sure that I give it a good run before I completely make a, you know, last minute decision to just jump back to what I was doing. Right.
Yeah. So what have been some of the other things you've tried getting customers besides door knocking and obviously Facebook ads now?
Just like, I mean, honestly, I feel like if you just straight up ask people, like, hey, do you know anybody else that's like looking for this kind of stuff?
Yeah,
you know?
referrals from customers. Yeah.
I can offer you this for this referral. We did that a little bit with Christmas lights this past year. That worked really well. I incorporated, like, somebody had asked me, like, do you give any like referral discounts? And I was like, you know what? I do. I was like, if you give me referrals, I'll give you 10% off window cleaning or 10% off pressure washing. So then it was like, they need my service in the winter, and then they need my service in the spring or fall or summer or whatever. And it's incentivized, right? Because you're going to have a cheaper opportunity for something that's going to benefit you. So just asking people for referrals. And yeah, I mean, up until like, I'd say almost now, I mean, door to door was the only thing in my thoughts. And I didn't really, I mean, between having the van wrapped and like our reviews online, I just thought that that's how companies were made, you know, like people just see.
Business is going to come to me now.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's not the case. I mean, we learned it very quickly. And because there was definitely some times it was like, door to door is slow right now. You know, we got pretty lucky because like during COVID, everybody was home. Right. But then that year that I came back, people were starting to go to work again. So not as many people answered the doors. Right. And so we really didn't have a thought. And you had talked about the marketing thing, and we had, I think it was a company in Florida that like said that they were doing marketing for us. Like they were like pushing our website, I think. Yeah. But I mean, we weren't getting anything from it. Like nobody was like, I found your website, so that's how I found you. And in my mind, I didn't think about, you know, asking people, how did you hear about us, or how did you see us, or whatever. I just thought like the more reviews we got, that would carry us. And that's not the case. And I learned that from you, you know, you studying all, you know, the algorithm stuff, and I've just learned a world from you, and I've got interested in it and done more research in it, and it makes sense to me now, thankfully. So
yeah, no, it's awesome to see the growth you guys have had over the last 6 months, even.
Yeah, like, it's kind of awesome. Unreal. I mean, we tried a window cleaning ad last year,
and it flopped. And
it flopped.
It flopped, but
for sure.
Know, I've done a lot of studying, research, and like figuring out how to craft a good ad, and I feel like we nailed it this last time.
Well, and that's what's so cool. I remember when you were first talking to me about leaving your construction management job, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like, cause you know, like I was like, dude, I kind of wish I had a full-time gig right now too. Cause
you felt it. Yeah. You're like, hold on,
the door-to-door stuff. I mean, like, I don't know what you can't go door-to-door being like, hey, let me market it whatever you want. You know? Yeah. Cause that was the only thing I knew. I mean, like, this is the only thing that was working out. But, yeah, I mean, it's so cool how you studied, and I like it too, because it motivates me, because how how much research you go into, and then like from the first ad till now, the amount of things that changed. And we had that phone call, and you know, Tim was really he was like, I don't want to do it. Like, I really don't. Like, I think we just try to keep doing what we're doing. And that's what I realized too in my head is like, if we don't change, nothing's gonna change, you know? Like, if we stay the same, we're just gonna have the same year over and over and over again. Right. And I realized that on a job too, that we had got door to door. And then the following year we did them again, literally on the same day. And I'm sitting there cleaning the window and I'm like, I'm living the same year again. You know, like, am I just going to be here on this day every single day for the rest of my life? Oh my
gosh, yeah.
You know, and it's kind of a nerve-wracking feeling.
Yeah.
And so we had that conversation. You're like, I've literally reframed how I do everything. Mm-hmm. And it got me too when you were like, if you don't get any leads from this, I will personally pay you to come out and do my own house. And like that guarantee, that bet on yourself, I was like, dude, how could you not? You know, like,
no, I told you I would pay for your ads myself. Like, I will run it with my own money. I know this works. I know this is gonna work.
Exactly. Yeah. And I felt myself in you too, because I had been there before, like standing at the door, talking to people. Like, I promise you, like, if you let me do this, you will not regret it. Just because I know how hard we work and I know how good our work is. And you were confident in that, and I see it. And it's been great working with you. It's been exciting.
I appreciate that.
Right?
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah.
Definitely.
How did you perceive digital marketing, and what were your expectations that first go around when we were advertising?
Yeah. I didn't have a ton of experience or knowledge of any digital marketing, honestly. Like, I didn't even think about when you hear stuff on the radio, like, that's marketing. Like, it just, through my day-to-day life, like, as you watch a commercial and stuff like that actually gets people pulled in. So in my mind, I guess, like, I mean, it sounds pretty stupid to say, but I mean, in my mind, it was like, okay, we're going to run these ads and these people are going to put themselves on the schedule. You know, like, as dumb as that sounds, like, it's like, oh, we're going to show up. Like, if they want us to come do it, we're going to show up, give them a price, and do it right then and there. Like, I didn't think as far as, like, I mean, we'll be scheduling 2 weeks out, or we'll be scheduling, you know, these people for now and in the fall. And so I was just like, hey, you know, like, it could reach more people, because I was starting to mature. Like, I've definitely, my mind has changed, like, through these past 2 years so much. Like, I've matured a lot in my vision of things, of how I see everything. And I started to see that through door-to-door, we weren't reaching as many people as we could, because as soon as we got a job, we dropped everything, did the job right then and there. And with the digital marketing, it's like,
how many doors can you knock in one day?
Right. You know,
we've knocked 15,000 digitally this month.
Exactly. Which is crazy, because by the time you hit 100 doors, or if you hit even a whole neighborhood, like, if you just know that you hit every single house in the neighborhood and you don't have at least one job, it's so defeating, dude. Like, you feel like a big nobody.
Right.
You know, like, I just put everything I had into every door and got nothing. And with this, it feels so cool, because people want you, you know, like, they're coming to you.
Right.
And that was something that when Tim and I were going through a lot of struggles, I mean, we'd go home and we'd be talking to my sister, because she's really big into this with us too. Just kind of like big supporter. She's a huge supporter of us, which is awesome. And, you know, we'd all just be sitting there just brainstorming, and it's like, it sucks because we don't have people coming to us. Like, we don't have a brick and mortar building, like a restaurant or something. Like, people walk in there, like, people want that.
Yeah.
And so it was something that we almost felt like we couldn't have, just because people, like, weren't interested in it.
I think a lot of that comes down to brand too, you know, building that brand, getting your logo and your brand out there in front of more people more times. They start to create positive reinforcement just in seeing whether it's yard signs or the van wrap or your hat and T-shirt in their neighborhood, you know?
Well, and that's something I applaud you because, I mean, you put that in my brain. Like, when you first came to us and were like, I want to build you as a brand, and I was like, dude, I don't want to be on social media. Like, I don't want my face out there, and, like, you know, I'm just a kid. Like, I'm still partying it up or whatever, doing dumb stuff. But now it's just like, why wouldn't you? Like, build this, embrace it. And I've came a long way just from the 6 months ago to where it's like now, like, I'm doing this. Like, this is way out of my comfort zone. Like, this is probably something I would have done.
Yeah.
Or even thought I would do. But like I said, I mean, if you don't change, things aren't going to change.
Yeah.
And so building a brand has definitely been something that's our goal. You know, we want to build this cool thing that people are proud to do and people are proud to get, you know, as a service.
Yeah.
You know, from people that show up, they look good, they like their job, you know, people that want to do this kind of stuff, you know, and we want to provide that environment. So I think with the hiring process, that's been something that's kind of been weighing on us. Like, okay, like, I want to get somebody that's motivated. Like, we're trying to look for the perfect person, which, you know, you probably shouldn't right out the jump.
Well, I think you almost have to kind of build that person and teach that person how to be that person that, you know, cares about their work. I mean, to a degree. Obviously, there's some soft skills that you have to be able to identify in your future employee, but being able to teach them the TD Power Clean way. You know? So,
and I feel like you definitely helped us, like, believe, like, we have a way. We have the ability to make this however we want, you know? Because at first, I just remember telling you, like, I don't want to do guarantees to people because they should know already that we're going to be the best cleaner. Like, how are they going to know that? I bet you were sitting there like, dude, this is going to be tough. But, I mean, you stuck with us, and now, like, my mind has shifted so much just because, like, the inspiration and the research I've done into it, like, the learning, the seeing how it's, like, looking at other companies, seeing how this kind of stuff has benefited other companies. And it's a no-brainer. So, yeah, I really appreciate all the help, and, like, I can't thank you enough because it's been so fun, and I feel like we're pretty like-minded, like, we're young, go-getting people, you know.
One of the things when I was still working at that construction management company is an electrician came to me, and he was the foreman, and he was telling me, like, man, like, I don't know how to get these guys to want to love what they do. And literally, it just off the cuff came out of my mouth. I don't even remember how like, or why I was thinking this, but I was like, you just got to inspire and encourage them, man. And over the next few months before I left, it became this thing where every single stand-up meeting with all the foremen, they'd give me crap. It was like, you just got to inspire and encourage them. And because, I mean, a lot of times in that construction mentality, it's like, a lot of you deal with some different kind of people.
Who cares about your feelings?
Right.
You know, like, and I get that too. Like, just work, you know, but when you're not happy doing what you're doing, like, you don't have motivation to go out there and do it every day.
He had a sign on his job box. It said, it was like, why can't work harder be a virtue, or something like that. It said, why does patience have to be a virtue? Why can't just do your job or work harder be a virtue?
Yeah.
and that was, like, that's what I was trying to get across to him, is you just got to inspire and encourage those people to want to be better. And that was what I saw in helping business owners, is being able to inspire and encourage them that they can do this, they can have growth, they can be good at digital marketing. And that's what I saw in you when, you know, when we were working through some of those things, like, just trying to inspire and encourage you that, like, this is possible. We just got to keep testing, keep trying, and we'll get there eventually. And that's what I love about working with business owners, is being able to inspire and encourage them in an area where they might lack. So,
yeah. And it's been a complete like breath of fresh air, honestly. It feels like this year feels like a whole new year. And I'm so much more like locked in mentally just because I'm becoming obsessed with this process. Like everything about it, like it incorporates things you love, marketing, right? Something I know nothing about, obviously. And then brings the market to me, which I can flourish in my sales aspect, where I love sales. And then Tim and I get together and do a great service. And people love it. Like the reactions we get from it has just been awesome. I mean, we're just starting to do the jobs that, like our first few ads that came in, we're just starting to do them now this first week in May. And people are like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, like let's schedule for the spring already. And I'm like, let's do it.
That's awesome.
Like, that's great.
Yeah. So how many jobs have come in so far? I know we've had 75 leads come through in 30 days.
Yeah. So I think I've closed 27 jobs.
27. That's like, I think it's just over 8,000, right?
Yeah.
And we've spent 850.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Right.
So that's a 10 to 11x return on ad spend. That's awesome.
Yeah. Which is crazy. And I got 6 estimates to do today that I'm going to do. Between today and tomorrow, I think I'm doing 2 tomorrow as well. But, I mean, I'm going into every mind of it where it's like now I can relax a little bit more because I know they already want this service. And I feel like I can actually charge what we're worth.
Right.
Just because, like, in years past, we needed work so bad.
Whatever you can.
I would sell myself so short. And, like, I think that's what, like, beat us up the most because we'd go door to door and, you know, in some not so good not a perfect neighborhood, you know. And I'm like, dude, this guy won't even pay $100 to get his house cleaned. I'm like all of his windows cleaned top to bottom. I'm like, dude, we are in the wrong field. I was like, we need to get out of this now. Like, this is not working.
You've got leverage now. They're coming to you. They want you.
Yeah. And so I can take them through our process and how we do things because I do believe and I know it's different than how other companies do it and just the extent we go in. It's a great service. So I have all the confidence in our work and putting that confidence into people because, you know, a lot of people have bad experiences with other companies and that either makes them, one, never want to do that again as a whole. You know, they'd never hire any other company or, you know, they'll give it another shot with somebody else and it works out great. So
how do you break that way of thinking or that mentality of someone that maybe had a bad experience? How do you get them to trust you?
I think just like reassuring them has been a big deal. I mean, to be able to say like we've grown, we were established. I mean, we've been through the goods and bads for 5 years now, you know. Tim and I, like as a business, we've been in business. This is now our 5th year. I mean, my technically like 2nd, 3rd year full time.
Full time, yeah.
But having that behind us, like if you look at our reviews, we have 5-star reviews. We have people that post about us and your neighbors even. I mean, there's a lot, like I can go into pretty much most neighborhoods, I would say. I mean, obviously not everyone, there's a billion, but I've done somebody in that neighborhood. And I do somebody in that neighborhood. So that's a big deal to be able to point like right down that way and be like, I do their house twice a year and they love it. And now like going with your thing, putting a guarantee behind it. Like I guarantee we won't leave until you are happy. And that's what's won a lot of trust with people. And we're good guys. We show up on time and we show up ready to go, put our head down, get to work and accommodate the customer. Like working with them on a time to be able to come out and do an estimate that works for them or, you know, being flexible in our schedule to find a time for them to get done. So yeah, just accommodating to the customer and really listening to them. Like, you know, what exactly did you have a problem with, you know, with your last company? What can I do to help change that? Yeah. And that's been a good process for us. So.
Yeah. For sure. Has being in business changed how you look at opportunity or work ethic?
Yeah, I feel like opportunity is everywhere. I mean, driving through downtown and seeing all the glass there is. I mean, there's windows everywhere. And even we're walking in here and they're cleaning the windows on the front. It's like, I just need to find the right person to talk to and I could get this job, like I could see where they lack or whatever. Not necessarily to steal work or whatever, but, driving through neighborhoods like in Waukee area, like there's just a ton of big windows. There's a ton of glass. There's a ton of houses. So, people don't have the time or necessarily want to do the services we provide. It's like mowing. Anybody can mow, but do you really want to?
Right.
And will you be able to do it as good or as fast as the company you're going to hire?
Right.
And so, I mean, it just gets me going so hard because I know that I will impress the people we serve.
Right.
And the more people I can get out to, the more people I can help. So,
what lessons have you picked up from working with Tim or clients?
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome working with Tim. I always have said, like, we kind of balance each other out because I'm like, go, 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 go. And he's like, trust the process. Like, it'll be, what's for us will find us. Yeah, And I'm just like, balls to the walls, like, let's go, 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 and take the big risk. And he's obviously a little older than me, so, I mean, he has to be like, oh, okay, like, let's logically think this through. And I say, like, working with my sister, too, because, like, all three of us, I mean, we sit down weekly and just brainstorm, or figure out how we could spread ourselves across. And now that those conversations have shifted, right, because, like, we're trying to get people to help us spread that vision across. So, I mean, working with him has just been awesome. I mean, obviously, he's so good at what he does. Everybody he's trained, like, out in North Carolina, he still talks to those guys. They all still do it, So he's really good at teaching people, like, this can be a job you really can learn to love and enjoy and provide, like you can go out, put an honest day's work in and make some money, So, and the customers, I mean, we've met some awesome people and some crazy people. I mean, we hear some crazy stories and I mean, I like to share one. I have this client and he's got a bunch of rental properties, and he's just like, gosh, you wouldn't believe, like, what some of these tenants put me through and all this stuff. Like, I got this lady going to court. I'm going to court, and I feel bad for her because this little 2-bedroom apartment's going to ruin her credit, like, ruin it. And I'm just like, oh, my gosh, and we're cleaning his mansion, like, so clearly he's doing it right and trying to – I mean, it is kind of hard to connect with clients sometimes because you don't want to be, like, asking too much questions. But it's hard for me because I am a sponge to things. So, like, I want to learn as much as possible. But working in these big houses and seeing what people do and stuff like that, it gives you hope, like, these people took the chance, they took the risk, and this is, how it paid off for them, and this is how they're able to live their life, which is cool. Yeah.
Do you have any personal mottos or mindsets that you like to live by?
Yeah, I mean, a ton from my dad. I've learned a lot from my dad because, like, we're very similar, I feel like, and I mean, obviously tomorrow's always a new day. The sun's going to come up tomorrow no matter what happens. And in business, because he was a business owner himself, and he's really stressed to us, like, even through all these slow times, like, it is good because we're making good roots. So if you set good roots, and they'll grow.
Right.
So, like, the clients that we're impressing now, they're going to trust us when we start to expand and when we start to send other people out to their house. Like, they're going to know that person has been trained, that person is respectful, and is going to do a great job for us. And so that's something that I'm really prideful on. I guess like it kind of sounds dumb, but just work hard and what's for you will come to you. Like having faith and trusting the process and things. 'Cause life has changed so much.
Yeah.
Like just in a short 3 years. Like I remember when I first moved out and I was like, this is my first taste of freedom. I live alone and I can do whatever I want. And I was like, this is awesome. Like I'm working full time. I'm working 2 jobs. I've always worked 2 jobs. So like I've always had like a hardworking mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to keep that. Like I that's something that I value very much about myself is I know that I will put the work in every single time. Mm-hmm. And I'm very confident in that in myself. So that helps like the way I carry myself and the way I go about things. I do believe in what I can do always. Yeah. So, and that's something that I've became a lot more comfortable with over the years is just like I can stand behind that, you know, and especially now in what I'm doing, like with electrical, I didn't really know much, but I knew I was going to work hard and give it my all every day. But like with this, I know, you know, almost everything there is to know about, you know, the services we do. So when I'm talking to a customer, I can be confident and I can believe in myself because I've been in a lot of situations and obviously not enough. Like I'm always trying to learn new things and meet new people and find the best ways to go about it. But like confidence that's definitely something that I think is very important. And with you, like in this podcast too, like you have to have confidence in that you're going to bring questions and you're putting yourself out there to people, you know, that takes a lot. And it's something I never really had in me before. Like not to say I wasn't a confident person, but like in embodying your brand and your everything like that, it's very important and it pays off, mm-hmm. you know. So I feel like the work that you and I and everyone's put in, mm-hmm. It pays off because you're going to get what's for you. Mm-hmm. So
you cannot lose if you do not quit.
Exactly. That, you know, that's a good way to put it.
Alex Hormozy.
I did see this quote on my phone when we just had started to get busy. It's like, I can't complain about being hungry when I can't complain about having too much on my plate when I used to beg just to eat,
right.
you know?
Oh, that's a good one.
So that's something that, like, when I first saw it, like, I had to screenshot it because I was like...
That's so good.
That's, you know, that's huge. That's really it, you know? And to go back, I mean, in years past, like, Tim and I sitting at home, like, dude, what are we going to do? Like, we have to get work. We need money. Mm. And it's like now... It's really heavy where it's like, gosh, this is almost overwhelming.
Because you're booked out how long?
Yeah, we're booked out. We still have a few spots at the end of May, literally the last week. But until then, like I can't fit anybody else in. That's crazy. Like just between us two.
Is that 3 weeks? 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Booked 3 weeks out. Solid. Yep.
So, I mean, it's a lot on the plate, but it's like I'm soaking it up because I know, like, this is what we prayed for. You know, this is what we asked for. And and like my sister says all the time, it's like, if you ask God or, you know, if you think about specifically what you want, you will get it. Like if you really think that you can do that and you put every foot forward you can to keep moving towards that, you will achieve it. And it's really important to set goals. Like I was listening to your last podcast and you talked about, you know, their 5-year goals. And I think that's awesome to have really specific goals.
Yeah. And huge.
Yeah. And they're big time. I mean, I can only imagine the conversations you guys have had, you know, off camera or whatever. I bet it's so inspiring.
Yeah. I mean, we're advertising for them now. And we actually just got our first close in the first week of running ads for him, we've gotten over a dozen leads. But yeah, a fence job, over $6K.
That's sweet.
With I don't even remember how much ad spend, but probably around $50 a day.
Yeah,
it's you create a good offer, you create a good creative, you have good copy, and you just let meta work.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand when I first started how important the offer was in the advertisement, and that's something that I've really worked on, and now it's starting to show. But yeah, big stuff with them. But what are your 5 years goals? You've been in business 5 years now. What's the next 5? What's the next 10 look like?
I mean, specifically, we have like a goal of this year. I want to do $250,000. That's really the biggest goal. Mm-hmm. I want to get some more commercial Christmas light jobs, because that really boosts us. It's a lot higher ticket
in your downtime too. Right?
Yeah, and I have more plans for that. So for this year, definitely making sure that I work with you in these ideas that I have, because I've done research more to where I can bring more to the table. I want to do like a Christmas in July special where I have time to reach out to these people and like, hey, if you buy now, we could schedule you for this, and then I have that stuff ready. And having employees, I'd like to have at least 3 trucks going in the next 5 years. At least. I mean, that's a pretty small term goal, but it seems like a big one from where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm still in the van, I'm still I do all the work, from the scheduling and Tim, of course. But us two, we do all the scheduling. We do the marketing with you, and then we, do the referral stuff, do the door knocking, and the work on top of it. So, I mean, we're really pushing ourselves right now. So I think my biggest goal is to build the sales team and to step into that position to where it's like we're building a business, not a job. Mm-hmm. And that's something I think we struggled in the last 5 years.
You owned your job.
We owned a job. Mm-hmm. And we still do now, but we're working our way out of that. And another goal I know we have is this year to have 200 reviews, going from 100 to 200 at least, and keep those at 5-star and carry that forward. Mm-hmm. I mean, I haven't really sat down and wrote down like a 5-year plan necessarily, because when I think about, like, when you look in the past, 5 years seems like forever. But when you think about the future, 5 years seems like tomorrow, right. It's right there. Yeah. So I do have to get better at writing down long-term goals, because I do think in the year, I think month by month, day by day.
I think it would help with visualization. I mean, like McGinnis said in his episode, we underestimate what we can do in 5, or we overestimate what we can do in the next year, but we underestimate what we can do in 5.
Yeah.
I think if you set that big, giant goal and you're constantly visualizing, how to get there year over year, when you get to that 5-year mark, it's like, look how far we've come. Well, maybe we didn't reach that 5-year goal, but look how far we've come. I didn't think we could do that.
And that's why I brought it up, because that really, when I was listening to it yesterday, that really made me think, that's something I want to get better. I want to have clear goals, where now my mind's a lot more clear about how we can get to what we want to achieve. Because even when you first said to me, like, build a sales team, I was like, dude, how have I never thought of that? Like, I always thought, like, I would be the sales guy. But now that I think about it, it's like, that's a great idea, and that's something that I would love to do. And I brought it to Tim, and if he can build a workforce, and I can build the sales team, and we can be a dual threat there, I mean, this company will flourish. And it'll turn into a company. I still see it, just as our job.
Yeah.
But
what advice would you give to somebody that wants to start a business?
I'd say find out what you want to do, and get really good at it. Like, make sure that you can put your best product or service forward and talk to as many people as you can. Get insights, get experiences. And that's what I'm still learning today is I want to hear, about other people's experiences, and I want to feel what other people feel just so I can get an understanding. And don't be afraid, like, especially if it's something that you're really good at and really powerful about. I mean, it'll come slow, but at the end of the day, you got your name on your back, and you're carrying your legacy, and you can make it however you want to make it, and figure out whether, you just want to set your own schedule or if you want to build an empire, and that's something where my mindset has changed, whereas at the beginning it was like, oh, I can set my own schedule doing this. Like, if I don't want to show up till 10, then yeah, that's what we'll do. But now it's like, I want to take over, So I'm moving towards that more and trying to meet more people, and it inspires people too. It gets stuff like this gets people motivated to do what they want to do. So don't be afraid. I mean, the worst that can happen is you go back to what you were doing before.
Right.
And that's what I realized too. Like, I was like, I mean, I can always go do electrical again. Like, I love it. Like, I enjoyed doing it. Mm-hmm. But I knew that if I didn't take this risk to try this and to give this a run, that I would regret it.
Forever.
Exactly. Yeah. And obviously there's bumps in the roads. Like, if you have a family, it'd probably be a lot harder than, like a 21-year-old kid that, watches out for himself, right. Like, I look at it as I have nothing to lose and everything to gain, because I will be in the same place that I was before, if not. So that's like an exciting thing and something that I've been able to embrace more now, because I love that aspect, like it just changed. So
looking back, what's one thing you wish you would have figured out sooner?
Definitely finances, like figuring out like what it takes to run a business and things like that. Because I mean, before it was like, if I always thought, oh my gosh, we made $500 today. Okay, you take $250, I'll take $250. We're good. and then it's like, oh, then we have this tax thing, and it's like, oh, you work for yourself. Okay, I'll take about 30% of that or whatever. Yeah. I've even now I still don't even know the perfect things, but that's something that really, I mean, it's. Obviously, you're not going to do something if you don't make any money at it. Like, it wouldn't be worth it. So I wish I knew more of the money side, and that's definitely something that I plan to learn more about. So taxes is definitely like the biggest thing. I wish I knew more about taxes and more about money, and even debt. Like, what is good debt and what makes sense, like what amount of money would make sense as a running operation, how much do you need to run this, and what would that look like?
Yeah.
So that's definitely something I wish I knew more about the marketing side when I started, because I feel like now we would be in a way different spot if we would have hit the ground running with that. Yeah, I mean, those are the two biggest things I'd say for sure. I wish I knew how to hire people, like, with confidence, like, exactly what to pay them, what makes sense, and how to make it good for both parties. So,
well, you'll find out shortly.
I will. I'm learning, and I'm a sponge to it, and I'll take any advice I can get, and I'm so willing to listen now versus like the immature self when I first started. I was like, man, I go out and get it every day, you know, like I work hard and do this, and so I'm closed-minded about it because I'm gonna go out and get it regardless. But definitely have grown up through this process, so it's exciting.
What's one thing a business owner could do today to start getting more business?
I'd say, I mean, look around at what people in your field are doing.
Strategy hack.
Yeah, exactly. See what's working. And even if it's not like in your location, like look in other places and see what's working for other people. 'Cause some people, like, they put ads on the radio and it works out great. And some people it's like, gosh, turn that off, you know? Or like Facebook. I feel like for a lot of things that would work out great, but for some businesses that might not be the ticket. Just because, I mean, if you do like commercial stuff, like you probably aren't gonna put ads on Facebook for just an average consumer scrolling.
A lot of the bid work is, it's a different animal.
Yeah, exactly. So you'd probably, I mean, I don't know where you'd want to go towards there, but I mean, even thinking about like billboards, like would billboards help us? Because we've thought about like signs, because we see signs everywhere, pressure washing, this number, and there's no like business name on it or anything. It literally just says pressure washing. And we've tried to figure out like how many people actually call that number, because we see so many of the signs, but if I'm driving down the road, do I take the time to type that out, or do I take a picture and wait till I get home? So that's something we want to learn more about.
Yard signs in customers' yards. You know, people driving by say, "Oh, look, they've got really clean windows. Wow!"
Yeah,
and then they see your sign. It's like could be worth stopping, and
that's something we're going to incorporate too. That and door hangers is definitely another marketing strategy we want to go down. Just because, like Austin said, you know, he's gotten so much business from putting 5 to the right, 5 to the left, and 10 across the street, or 20 across the street, I think he said. And I mean, that's word of mouth. Like if you think about it, you know. So the possibilities are endless. There's so many different things you can incorporate to get business, and I'm learning them now. So it's something I'm completely open to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, where can people learn more about TD Power Clean?
I'd say our Facebook page. Definitely look us up on Facebook, add us, and we're getting more into the posting side, so trying to pick up on that.
And then tdpowerclean.com.
tdpowerclean.com, of course.
Say your number real quick.
It's 515-745-8797.
Awesome. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Just thank you for the opportunity to do this. I mean, it was really cool. I know I'm not super knowledgeable, but I mean, from a young person's standpoint, given just what I've learned over the few short years, I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to come out here and share my experience. So
100%. Yeah.
And thank you for all you've done. I mean, you've been killing it, so keep doing what you're doing. And,
appreciate it. Thank you.
And let's get it.
No, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Keep hustling.